Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm gonna show you my DPS fighter build. So just a disclaimer, I'm doing a voiceover one of my videos so that hopefully my PlayStation is less loud and you don't hear it as much as you did in the last few videos because it's gotten really loud lately. And yeah, so talking about the build now. It's mainly focused for Tom and ZC as I want to deal the best damage on single target in trials. That's where it matters. And I will briefly talk about the AoE as well, but that's just to, give you a bit of a playstyle and give an idea of what's best to use, but I didn't test it thoroughly, so just so you know, guys. Now getting into the build, these are the stats that I have. I'm gonna show you what they look like in combat, but first of all, let's start off with the potions. Which potions am I using? I'm using 5% Sorbet, Flask of Potency, Sunlord Elixir. That's the combo that works the best for me. We don't use Guild Food anymore because it gives very few stats, like 200. Not worth it for the costs, to be honest. Now I'm stacking up my ribcage and the companion announcement, the Sky Blazer, to show you guys the stats that I can get to. This is just on my own. And okay, so the wrist guards aren't procced here. Let me proc him again. Okay, this is it. These are my stats in combat. And as I said, power is 89.3%, but the rating isn't capped, meaning that when you're in a group, you will have runic aura most likely in trials, so that 2.2 thousand power will actually cap your power percentage. And then, for power I just use power shirt, the red eyes glare, so that those few things together with the wrist guards help me cap it, and I don't need to invest any more things into power. Regarding the other stats, accuracy is rating capped, and the percentage just doesn't go any higher than that. Combat advantage is capped on the rating, and it increases with the Sky Blazer. Crit strike is capped on rating, increases with the companion announcement, and with a ribcage, and that's it. Obviously you can switch stuff around if you have like a tutor in the party. My combat advantage goes up to 85%, so like when there's a tutor I'm at 90%, when there's a nature with aspect of the pack I'm at 90%. Crit sev is not capped on the rating because I don't need it. I just need it to be at 77.5% before the ribcage proc, that's why. So it's gonna be capped when I'm in combat. Strength for the damage bonus, dexterity for the extra crit sev percentage that I need to reach the cap, and that's it. Then looking at the gear, Sky Blazer is the obvious choice, same with the ribcage and wrist guards. Wrist guards are kind of annoying because of the power stacks, but it's really the only piece you can use, by far the best, even if like not always reliable. And for your weapon set you want to use Mastercraft. Mastercraft gives you, given everyone in groups using it, 10% extra damage, 10% damage mitigation. It also gives 10% damage to your companion, which the other stats don't do. So right now Lionheart and Mirage are just weak. Celestial is just bad. Lionheart and Mirage just don't match Mastercraft. Just use them if nobody else is using Mastercraft, I guess. And then we have the Feat. I'm using the Rusted Iron leggings. The 5% from the Rusted leggings is superior to the 5% combat advantage given by the boots that you can get in Hardcore Boss. Even if you can't cap combat advantage, Rusted Iron leggings are still better. So just keep those ones on. You don't see I don't need any extra rating to use like the 7500 power or combat advantage feat. Those are just plain bad. You can cap just fine with them. And then we have the music box set, which is also really nice considering the rotation I do on bosses. I'm gonna show you later. And the stats are really nice on it. Then we have the for like the rest of the equipment. Obviously the band of air It doesn't proc as much as in the fighter as it does on like TRs and AHRs, but it's really good. I would think it nets like 6-7% of your damage, but I'm not sure because I don't have a combat log, and it hits for like from 50 to 200, 300k depending on whether you have combat advantage. It gets deflected or whatever. It's just a really nice ring to have, and one of the pieces that increases the most your damage in overall. Then we have the Red Eyes Glare for the 5% power, 2.5% accuracy. We actually need that crit save right now, so it's also nice for that. Then we got the Power Shirt, which is one of the few pieces I use to increase the power as well. And I switched to this shirt you can see right here, the cooldown shirt that comes from the third mini boss in Voss. I only switch to it when I'm using the 10% sorbet, because at that point I wouldn't need the rating from the power shirt for that matter. And same for the pants. The pants are the 1500 pants coming from the second mini boss in Voss. Now moving on to artifacts, obviously you want to use journals as your secondary artifact. My first one is frozen now, but the build works just fine if you use any other debuff. So like, please use whatever debuff the host asks you to use. Your damage will still be great, I promise. Then for the reinforcement kits, accuracy on the left side of the gear, combat advantage on the right side, obviously. For my offensive slots, I'm using a mix of Black Ices and Assassins. For my defensive slots, I'm using mainly single stat enchantments. Whatever you have, use it. It doesn't matter what you have. They won't make a huge difference. In the utility slots, use Azures. Even if you don't use Darks, you're only gonna lose like 0.7% power, which is nothing compared to 25% sweet movement speed for a class that can't dodge. Modification on the main hand is Heavy Slash, our main at-will on single target. And for the offhand, we got accuracy and recharge speed. That's it. Then moving on, for your overloads, if you want to be cheap and use overloads, then you can use whenever. You can use Corrupt, Black Ice Corrupt, Lethal, Piercing, doesn't matter. And if you want to go try hard, then you use both Devil Precision and Rage Flames. Those are the overloads that increase your damage the most, but obviously you gotta restore them at the forge, or just have a lot of them if you want to use them consistently. Then for my armor enchantment, I'm using Fireburst. It looks pretty cool on me, plus it's the armor enchantment that increases your DPS the most, because whenever you get hit, you hit back the boss with a cooldown, obviously, otherwise it'd be overpowered. And then for our weapon enchantment, we got Bilethorn, which is the best one. It's still very irrelevant, even if we don't attack as much as other classes do. It's still superior to Vorpal, at least from what I've seen so far, and to all other weapon enchantments. And that's really it. Moving on to powers, we have Heavy Slash, which is our main single target at-will, and Reeve just for like when you can't hit the boss from like close range, you're far away, you just use Reeve, but that's really the only reason. Otherwise, you should just use Reeve on AoE. For our encounters, we go with Bolt Charge, which is really nice, tied with a class feature Momentum. It adds 300 magnitude. I feel like it's even more than that. It should be like extra 380 magnitude, because it hits harder than what it should if the magnitude was just 820. So there's definitely something going on with the tooltip there, but it's really nice. It allows you to get some like movement. You can just go through between enemies real quick with Bolt Charge. Then we have Anvil, that together with the Tied Feet, the first one that I just showed you, is the best encounter we've got. Now Griffin's Wrath is the third one I'm rocking. Some people use Commander Strike, but they don't get that. The damage per second ratio on Griffin's Wrath is way higher than Commander Strike. As a higher magnitude, lower cooldown, so that just makes it way better. Striker's Mark is the fourth of our feats, and it says your daily get empowered when there's commander strike or other sources of physical vulnerability on the target. That also means that wicked reminder from the TR works for that purpose. So you don't need to use commander strike to get the extra damage on your daily. And even if there's no TR, it's still not worth to run commander strike just to get an extra 400 magnitude on your daily every now and then, you know. So yeah, don't run commander strike, run Griffin's Rat unless you're asked to. For your dailies, Mowdown is the only one you should really use on single target. Earthshaker is the AoE one. Class features 10% crit all the way, and momentum. You can also use Enduring Vengeance. I don't like it that much. It's also additive, so it's gonna be like 3% extra damage. I like momentum way more, since in the artifact phases I often use both shards twice. So that makes it a lot of extra mana to factor in. I like it more, but you know, that's a close call. So use whatever you feel more comfortable with. Moving on to feats. As you can see, I took all the bottom ones, and particularly the first one has to be the one for Anvil. It just makes Anvil like a sick encounter, low cooldown, very high magnitude, just great overall. The second one is useless on single targets, so whatever. Third one, Crushing Blows, would be the one that makes you deal more damage, but if you choose Crushing Blows, then you either swap to Bloody Reprise, or you have to like burn through your stamina to keep your vengeance up. Because Roiling Hatred, the bottom feat that I'm showing you, is the only one that allows us to build some vengeance back, and it actually keeps our vengeance to basically 100% all the time. And you need it to use the empowered anvil and stuff like that, especially because vengeance depletes in combat. But as you can see, if we were to use Crushing Blows, then we would have to use our stamina to keep the vengeance up, and we would lose a 10% combat advantage from the general feat that I'm showing you here. We will lose the 10% from the crit from the class feature, because it decreases as your stamina decreases, and you would also lose the power shirt. So nah, I don't like to use my stamina at all. Then we have the fourth feat, which is Striker's Mark, obviously because the other one is the one you use on AoE. It empowers your daily whenever the debuff is up, the physical debuff. Don't run Commander Strike for it. It's nice if there's a TR in the group, so you can steal their Wicked Reminder debuff basically. The last one is just Executioner Cut for a little bit of extra damage, since my vengeance is always at top, like it's always maxed. So I don't need Bloody Reprise at all. And that's really it. For the boons, all the power ones, all the offensive stats, obviously. Then I went for awareness and defense. Movement speed, really nice. Lingering medicine for the heal over time when you use potions. Can also proc from other people using potions if they have the group heal boon on. Forte and recharge speed for your tier 5 boons. And for the master boons, you gotta go. Oh yeah, sorry. Action points gain. It's just trash. Whatever increases your action points gain, it's bad. The color, the boon, whatever, the offhand modification, it's bad. The corrupt overloads are good because they give you actual like raw action points. Instead, the overload that gives you 5% extra action points from Help It, it's bad because it increases your action points gain, and those are not really effective. Bloodlust is the only master boon you can really choose, the only one that can proc with offensive effects. Offensive guild boon is crit, defense is awareness, defensive boon is awareness, and revive sickness. Cold Iron Warrior is the best single target companion, so I'm using that one. And you can see the choice for my companion gear with all Indomitables, obviously, to increase my comps damage. My comps damage is still about 8-10% of my total damage, so it's important to increase it. Then we have Minsk, 8.6% damage against bosses, so it's really good. And you use that one because it will increase your damage by like 5 to 6%, which is a better gain that is held by the 7.5% stats companions. Then we have Batiri. I mean, if you use Minsk, Batiri is just, you know, straightforward because it's even higher bonus. Wolfgar and Drizzt, they increase each other's stats, and Drizzt is nice to cap your crit sev. And the Golden Cat. If you don't have the cat, obviously you can switch to the Alchemist, which is way cheaper, and you're most likely to have it. And your stats will work just fine. In that case, you can also switch to your companion enhancement to combat advantage, as I'm showing you right now, to acute senses. Now, talking about mounts. Rapid accuracy, and this is I'm showing you, I mean, this is just for raw wraithing that I chose my insignias. So you can just peek at them and see what I chose. 2 Warlord's Inspiration to increase your companion damage. You don't need Gladiator Guile because you had, if you run, especially if you run 5 Azures, rank 15, extra 25% movement speed. Then obviously Artificer Persuasion because it works smoothly with your artifact rotation that I'm gonna show you in a bit. And for my colors, I went. The important ones are crit sev and encounter powers, which are way better than all the other ones for the fighter DPS. For other classes, it might be different, but this is what it is for the fighter DPS. The other colors, to be honest, are not even worth bringing up to mythic. Keep them at like epic, and you'll be fine. I also got the outgoing healing color because I use my colors on all my tunes, so when I go on my heater, I can have that maxed out as well. Now for the rotation, I'm just gonna build my vengeance real quick. Keep in mind when you go in a circle, in a loading circle of like a Tom and MZC, make sure your stamina is at like close to full, because obviously you need your stamina for your 10% combat advantage, 10% crit, and your power shirt. So do not go in when you have like no stamina whatsoever. Make sure you have at least 75% vengeance, so when you hit anvil, you're ready to go. So when I go in, I use a couple slashes just to get a bonus, and then I go anvil, bull charge, artifact, daily right away, Griffin's Wrath, tunnel vision, and then heavy slash until my encounters come back and I can use bull charge and anvil again. And this is how it works basically. Then when you're not in an artifact phase, what you do is just you use your encounters as soon as they are back. Like there's outside of artifact windows, there's not like a real rotation for the fighter. You just use whatever comes back, and you have it ready. I'm also going to show you a couple of neat tricks which can be useful in combat. This I'm just showing you. You just use your encounters as soon as you get them, and you can also tap like L3 a couple of times when you use your encounters. That will increase a bit your action points, and it will cancel the animation of the encounter. On anvil, if you do it too soon, it will just cancel out, so make sure you get it with the right timing. As you can see, I build a little bit of action points every time I do it. It might help you if you're short on action points and an artifact window is coming up. Then another nice trick is when you use heavy slash, you can rotate around the target if you move your left controller stick to one or the other side. It could be useful if you need to rotate while attacking the boss, so you can keep damaging. This is one way to min-max your damage in trials, and that's it. Now I also wanted to show you my quick slots. So I have the Greater Stone of Health for sketchy healers, and Alliance Battlehorn for action points if I need or if I want to put an extra daily in, and obviously the Forger box for the 3% power and whatever stats it gives you. Now looking at my AoE build real quick, I have Lionheart set, but obviously if you want to get a second Mastercraft set, that's cool too. My stats are all around the place because I didn't bother like min-maxing AoE. I just switched some gear, like the Surrender helmet. I use the Surrender helmet just because I do boss mostly, so that one's best in slot for Vault of Stars, obviously. I'm using Music Box set out of laziness The set you can find in boss is probably better for AoE or even Lost Mouth. I just don't want to rank up another one, since on AoE the damage, like the difference with another set, is really low. Then I'm using Lightning, obviously, and these are the powers that I'm using. Bull Charge, Tremor. Bull Charge is really nice because it allows you to move pretty quick between enemies, and to one-shot some of them, obviously, tied with a class feature Momentum. Then you have Tremor. The radius on it is terrible, so you can also use Shield Slam, but your team might get annoyed by the fact that it actually has a knockback link to it. So whenever you use it, your enemies will just get like rammed back. So yeah, see what works best for you and your team. Then Onslaught is our best AoE encounter. It's low casting time, but when it hits, especially with a second feat that works on AoE encounters, it hits like a truck. So it's really good for that matter. And the radius on it isn't terrible either. So that's definitely our best encounter on AoE. You can play around with the other two, but that one must remain in the encounter slots. And then for our dailies, I will go for Earthshaker and Mowdown, depending on whether I need to kill like a mini boss or a group of mobs. Tied with the fourth feat, Earthshaker also allows you to use Shockwave, which makes it a really nice combo. If you do Earthshaker, Earthshaker, then Shockwave, and then you hit one of your encounters right away, because that combo will deplete your stamina gauge, so that with Bloody Reprise then you'll be able to bring your vengeance back to 75%, and that's it. I'm also using crushing. I'm not using crushing bows either, to be honest. I'll show you why in a second. I'm gonna show you my AoE rotation with it. When you have max vengeance, what you do is like you can use Heavy Slash, use Earthshaker, Shockwave, and then immediately you go for Bull Charge. Your vengeance just build back to 75% because Bloody Reprise procced after you use both dailies. Now this is my usual AoE, so like I go for slash onslaught slash tremor, and then when you use Reeve, make sure you line up the target in front of you. It might help to jump as well, to position yourself while attacking. I'm not doing it really efficiently right here, but if you play around with it, you'll notice it can help with like positioning and moving around. The boons are pretty much the same. I just put movement speed on because revive sickness on AoE isn't really needed. And I switched my companion enhancement to perfect vision. I'm obviously using Suna because that's the best AoE companion you can have. If you can't afford it, then you can use Regis. I still use Minsk on AoE too. It's kind of nice having 5.6% extra damage, which will turn out to be like 3.5% extra damage against mobs. It's still similar to the 7.5% companions, but the thing is, combat advantage isn't always up on mobs, so investing into combat advantage is not really worth it on mobs. Whatever amount you have will just do it. I obviously switched my mount power to Divine Intervention, Wings, Explosive Equalizer, whatever works, and that's it. I also use the Reeve for my main hand on AoE. I hope this video helped you guys, and we'll catch you next time. Bye bye.